I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even mad tonight. I had Kaminga 34, 10, and 5. I'm leaving here with something. TJD 15 and 9. I'm leaving here with something. Pods 10. Pods had 10, 2, 5, and 3. I'm fucking leaving here with something, bro. I will take that shit. And to be honest, I think we played Harden the best out of all the games that we had against Harden. If I'm being dead ass, we kept his shooting low, and he didn't play make as well. Like, I will take that shit, bro. We lost the game. That's a little sad. We didn't have Steph out there. I'm just saying, Kaminga looks a lot better. He plays a lot better basketball when a certain someone is not on the court with him, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Um, so I mean, I guess that's a fake comeback, right? They got it down to what, 3 points?
Yeah, three
They
points.
needed another score, but um, these JK performances won't matter unless you can really put it together and have everyone play together. And they were playing together when the season started, and they kind of like they're struggling to kind of get things together. Um, because guy gets yanked out of the lineup, he gets put back into the lineup, yanked out of the lineup, pulled back into the lineup, right? So there's a lot of that going on. But it's tough watching JK do what he did, and he's coming off of the bench. You know what I'm saying? 37 minutes, 34, 10, 5, 2. He was playing hard tonight. And, like a lot of these young guys could have just packed it up tonight and, not compete and not make a game out of it, right? But none of the starters, Wiggs, 2 of 11, 5 points, Dennis, 3 of 11, 7 points, Buddy, 2 of 8. None of them really had it going tonight. If you look at the box score, I mean, they just couldn't make shots. That's pretty much what it came down to. They got out, we out rebounded the Clippers. We had more assists than the Clippers. We had like 14 steals. So in that late in the game, like in the end of the third, fourth quarter, they started to ramp up the defense. They started to play more physical, play with more force, and they started to create more turnovers, right? So that's kind of what they did tonight. I'm not I'm not really mad at the performance. I mean, games like this happen, but you just have to look at it like, um, at least they showed fight. Like, and the reason I say that is because I've watched this team before literally let go of the rope. They've been some years when they've been bad, and at least they're not just throwing their hands up and just giving up. You know what I'm saying? JK didn't give up tonight. He had a blunder of a play the last game between him and Wiggs, whoever you want to blame, that's your business. But um, like he had a blunder of a play, and he came back off the bench, responded, right? At some point, I think for this team to be successful going forward, we're what now, 15 and 15. They're going to have to start him and figure out a way what they can do with it. We need to stop placating to Draymond or the Draymond Green offense and figure out how we can run a viable offense, because you need positional size for one. Two, I think if you put him at the three, Wiggs at the two, that's probably a better look. And then you just figure out what the bench rotations are going to be like. But I mean, I was kind of like bummed out about the game, and then I saw the fight, right? So yeah, it sucks that we lost the game. We're 15 and 15, and nobody wants to be in that spot, right? But at least we can just look at this and say they showed some fight, because I'm telling you, I've been watching this team a long time, and there's been some years where they just let go of the rope. You know what I'm saying? And they're on the road. It's a back to back, and Kerr just gave the rest of the starters the night off. And Pods played 31 minutes. Kaminga played 37 minutes. Might want to up his minutes to around 34, 35 minutes. Like, just let the young guys go and let's stop the BS, right? So that's kind of what I want. That's kind of what going forward. I don't care what the spacing looks like. I don't care if you think combinations don't work. Like, let's just try something different. Let's stop trying to run offense through Draymond Green and have him take a step back, and let's try something different with these younger guys because you know, the Draymond Green offense, when you don't have the personnel to run the Draymond Green offense, doesn't work. Notice I'm not saying the Steph Curry offense because the offense is not for Steph Curry. Steph Curry pulls two people with him so Draymond can get passing lanes. It's the Draymond Green offense. It's not the Steph Curry offense. At no point was it the Steph Curry offense. Steph Curry runs around so other people can get open. It's kind of that simple, right? So um, let's hope that they respond tomorrow because what's been happening over the last month or month plus is that we've lost some bullshit games like the Laker game. We like there's so many bullshit games that we've lost, and it cascades into another game, right? And there's something that works and I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it being so when Kaminga's going to have 37, he's not a bench player. I'm sorry. Especially based on the talent that we have on this team, he's not a bench player. Uh, throw him in the starting lineup. I don't give a shit what it looks like. The spacing cannot be any worse than it already is. Right? So let's at least get two guys, Wiggs had a shitty night tonight, but um for the most part he's had a pretty good season. Just not his night tonight. Let me see what he does tomorrow. Buddy, they're jumping out on everybody action. They need to adjust to that because I think they can create some positive buckets from Buddy. Lindy Waters, I seen that man take a above the break three, and there's so many times I've watched him take that shot. Maybe you go to the basket. There wasn't anyone at the rim. Cut that out of your game. You're not Klay Thompson. You're not Steph Curry. You're not even Jordan Poole, right? And this is part of the problem that I'm having. Go to the rim. The rim was wide open. Um, Maybe they cut that lead down to one at that point because that's probably what was going to happen, right? Put them in a tough spot at that point, but that is what it is. Can't complain too much. Didn't expect them to dig that much into the lead. So it is what it is. Rose, Big Slime, what up?
Yo, I just think you honestly need to switch it up with the starting lineup for sure. Kaminga way too explosive, way too athletic, and he can actually get his own shot. So we need to put him in the starting lineup no matter what it looked like.
Hmm.
Like you were saying for sure. He's way too athletic, man. We need to get him up in there. Honestly, we got to make a move. Got to make a move for somebody. I don't think even putting Kaminga in the lineup is going to really change a whole bunch. It's going to make it a little bit more positive. But for us to be serious, we gotta make a deal and start shuffling and changing some shit around. We were like 12-3, I think, around that when we started out, and then now we're like 3-12. So it's just not working out. So we got to make a move for sure.
I don't think it's the. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, what happened to when we were 12-3 versus what's happening now? That's what like I'm having a hard time reconcile with that because forget like X's and O's and all of that stuff, but the feeling, like the pure feeling that they gave me early on, you know, um, when they were playing the Celtics, when they were playing the Thunder, all of these teams, the feeling that they gave me was that they were a contender, right? Like even when they were going up, even when Steph was out and they were playing the Thunder, and you saw some of the things that they were doing defensively, they felt like they were going to do something, right? And I then I watched some of the most idiotic experimentations that I've ever seen from this team happen. And every morning I'm in playback and I'm frying and absolutely frying Steve Kerr. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why do we have to do things the hard way? You know what I'm saying? Like, um, in that Brooklyn game, I was just watching Dennis just pick our defense apart, and then I was watching people just pick their nails on the bench, and I was once I seen them Draymond pick his nails, I was like, they're gonna lose this game. That point, we're up by like 12 points or something, and I knew we were gonna lose the game because Dennis was just downhill, 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 and I don't know if I should wait on Dennis to show me what he's going to show me, but um he's not a pick and roll. This is not a pick and roll team, right? You saw like Brooklyn. Sorry, not Brooklyn, but the Clippers tonight. They were moving the ball around, collapse, pick and roll, James Harden, and you saw how the ball got moving. On the court tonight, we don't have that type of guy that is going to put feet into the paint on the team right now, put feet into the paint or get that defense moving, right? Like every great player in today's league on every possession, some form or the other gets the defense moving. And I don't think we necessarily have that guy. JK puts pressure on the rim, but defenses still don't respect him, right? So I need at some point for them to find a way or find some kind of offense that they can meld those two worlds of Draymond, Steph, Kaminga, and Wiggs. I need them to figure out a way that they can do that. I don't know if it's via Dennis. I don't know if it's via Pods, whoever, right? But they need to figure out a way that they can get feet in paint and get the ball moving around because look how many passes the Clippers made tonight. You know what I'm saying? And even with that being said, we had more assists than they did tonight. So there were times in that third quarter where I was just watching the ball zing around, zing around. And once the ball was zinging around, I was like, okay, they're gonna have this. And then JK started to do that thing where, he would just um, bully his way to the rim. And earlier in the season, I saw a couple of things. I saw people making shots, people defending. They were doing all types of dynamic stuff defensively. And I was pointing it out, and now the defense has slipped a lot. Actually, this is probably one of the better efforts I've seen in a while. And also, you know, bro, we're not going to be a good team without Steph. Let's be honest, right? Like we're just not going to be a good team without Steph. But you know, um, I don't know what team is just going to give up their second option, their 40 something $1 million player, right? I don't know who's going to do that. But if y'all got some ideas, I'm all open ears because, uh, we need somebody else that can rotate a defense. But let me say this. I'm looking at some teams right now. The Phoenix Suns, I think, did they lose tonight?
Um,
Yeah, they lost.
So the Phoenix
yeah.
Suns are a 500 team.
Yeah.
Huh. So we're in the ninth seed right now?
Yeah.
Bro, this conference is so trash, bro. Look at
No,
these
we're not in
teams.
the ninth seed. Actually, we're in the 11th. Spurs are 16 and 15.
Oh, it didn't
Phoenix
update
Suns
yet.
are.
No, no, no. You're right. You're right. You're right. Damn shit didn't update yet.
Yeah.
But look at the Phoenix Suns, man. 15 and 15 Sacramento. They're down and out. Look at the Spurs, they're one game over. What the hell is this, bro? Jesus.
I'm not gonna lie, Urkel. I think it's very difficult to have an offense where it's Steph, Draymond, Kaminga, and then TJD on the court at the same time. I'm looking at it. I'm just like, no matter what you run, teams just don't respect Draymond enough for them to say we're gonna go play Draymond. They don't respect Kaminga enough. One of those niggas gotta go. And if it's the front office probably will not choose that Draymond goes, but it should be Draymond. It's like, okay, you already have one non-shooter on the court, one non-factor on the court, which is TJD. He's a lob threat. That's cool. But then you have two niggas who are so iffy at the 3 point line that teams would rather just say, you know what, if Draymond is taking the three, if Kaminga is taking with the three, then it's good defense. That can't work. Like, I understand, but Steph is no longer 30, bro. Even if he was 32, I give it to him. But he's not that anymore. It's very hard for him to carry that offensive load when you have two non-factors at the 3 point
Hmm.
line. One of those niggas gotta go,
Yeah.
and I don't want it to be Jonathan Kaminga.
Yeah, I I still look at it like, you know, what was working in this is why I just don't like to fuck with things, man. You know what I'm saying? You fuck with the universe kills you. It bites you. You know what I'm saying? So the universe is biting right now because, Steve Kerr likes to mess with things, and here we are. So
I
it
think what was happening in that first part is that Draymond was a lot bigger of a factor at that 3 point line than most people would think about. He was shooting 44% on 4 attempts a game, 3 attempts a game at the beginning. And what was happening is that, which I agree, a lot of people had confidence in their shot and what they were shooting, and when they took a shot, a lot of people had confidence in their shot. But then you mess up the rotation. You have people playing with people who they don't even play with in fucking practice on the basketball court, and then everything goes to shit because we trick off games, trick off games, trick off games. There are games that okay, we lose that game and that's fine, but then it doesn't look like that anymore because we lost to the Nets, the Spurs, and the Pacers back to back to back. So it's like, oh, you go against the Thunder without Steph or Draymond and you lose that game too. While usually you say, okay, well, is the number one seed the OKC Thunder the best defense? And you say, okay, well, that's not a bad loss. But then
yeah.
you look at it and you're like, we're on loss number 5. We're on loss number 6. That shit kills your mental. When you're out there, you're hooping and you get pulled because you don't want to. Like, we saw Kaminga be aggressive tonight because there's nobody else to really take Kaminga's place. What, two of 11 Kaminga is gonna take Kaminga's place? So he was a lot more aggressive. But you see him passing some nights because he's like, if I go and take this and they don't call my foul, or they don't, if I don't make it, am I gonna get pulled? Is my time on the court up? And it's happening. Buddy goes out there after not playing for the last 10 minutes of the game, and he's expected to go hit threes because we're down. Shit like that cannot happen, and that's just not good coaching. We're
Yeah.
not that talented for people to go out there. Oh, we have KD, Clay. They ain't playing 10 minutes, but it don't really matter, right? You
Hmm.
just stick them out there, and they're gonna do what they gotta do. No, that's not the team anymore.
Yeah.
People need run.
No, I'm to the point, and there was a lot of experimenting, bro. Did y'all hear how mad I was for that Brooklyn loss? Blew a 20-point lead,
Hmm.
and bro, I damn near threw my monitor through the window. And it's not what was happening, say, in the game, but it was the game within the game that I was getting mad about, right? Because
Okay,
bro, we were first in a fucking conference, bro, and it's like, then I'm watching Steve Kerr go back to this offense that, admittedly, he said, that offense didn't work last year. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, we're trying this and we're trying that, and bro, you heard Steph say it, bro. We literally experimented into a slump.
I agree,
We
and I
literally
think I don't.
experimented into a slump. And all right, so I was trying to so one morning on playback, I was going back and I was watching old games and I was pointing it like these little things out that they were doing differently to start the season versus kind of what's been happening since, right? And I was just looking at it and I was like, yo, why are you experimenting? And you had something that was working, right? And I watched a man do it, bro, and it made me furious, bro. Like I literally, and why was I so mad? I was mad because I know what he's doing, bro. I just know it, right? You have Steph sitting out 9 minutes, and Brooklyn is one of these teams. They play up tempo and all this shit, and next thing you know, guys start hitting shots, and then they're pretending like they're this great team. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and that's the part. That's the part of the season that really pissed me off, really irritated me, and I was just looking at it and I was like, bro, like we can't continue to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was
No,
that
we're
game,
not doing it.
bro. I've said Brooklyn and I've said San Antonio probably 100, probably like 500 times because that was the inflection point. Because once I seen Man's on the bench picking his nails and all of that, I was like, oh, we're cooked. Because I knew it, bro. Like I saw the energy shift. I saw the bunch of experimenting. Lindy Waters was out there playing 35 minutes. Bro, like we could have probably won that game tonight. That pull up three instead of going to the rim, like, come on, man. What are you doing, bro?
Terrible.
So so here is the here's the thing about us right now. So we're 500. A bunch of these teams have 14, 15, 13 losses, right? A bunch of them. Um, to get back into the top six, you probably got to pull off, you probably got to have like a 5 game win streak or something. That's how close it is, right? Um, I just got to get back into rhythm, bro. I'm looking at the Lakers at negative two and a fucking half, bro, and they're in fifth. You know what I'm saying? Like they're a negative two and a half team, and they're in fifth. Nice, lovely.
I think where it started for me, where I kind of saw that you know that it was starting to get downhill, was in the Pels game. That's right before the Spurs, the Nets, and then that little run was the Pels game. We won that game, but we won that game by 3 points, and we had a big lead, and then blunder it. We blundered it away. I think we were up like 20, and they came back and they made the game a really close game. And the only reason we didn't lose that game was because Steph put on a masterclass. Went into the Spurs, played excellent defense, excellent defense. We have Draymond on the sidelines doing his own thing, and then we lose that game. We go into the Nets, which usually you're a good team, right? If the if the Celtics lose to a bad team, they are looking for blood the next game. They are looking to beat whoever they fucking lost, whoever they're playing the next game. But no, we go into the Spurs game, we lose the Spurs game, and then it just trickled down from there. I'm not gonna lie. I think there's too many things wrong with the team right now, and I don't know how to fix it. Because how do you get people out of a slump? That's a dumb
We
thing.
need to make a move.
There's nothing that you can do to get people out of a slump.
Give me
Like
your
you,
give me your best move.
You're asking for a silver bullet solution, but it just doesn't exist.
no,
That's
but
the
that's
problem.
that's my thing. I don't think there's anything that can fix the Warriors right
Hold
now.
on. So
That's the
so
crazy part.
so, so let me
I
ask
don't
this
even think
question.
Cam Johnson coming here for
Say
Vooch.
say we make a move, right? Like we just made a move, and say we make a move. Are we going to run the same offense?
Urkel, but that's the thing. I don't know
Are you gonna run the
if
same
there's.
offense? Well, I'll
I
counter
don't
ask,
know.
do they have the same head coach? And if the answer is yes to that, then the previous question will also be yes.
Big slime. I literally just, bro. I was in here after that. Which game did the OKC game? And Mans came in here and told me that Dennis Schroeder was going to be the solution, and I'm like, I'm not disrespecting Dennis, but Dennis is going to come in here and save Steph Curry.
Mm,
That just sounded ridiculous to me, right? So, I mean,
yeah, right.
so you're telling me that we're going to run the same offense, right? We're going to run the same type of offense, and then we're going to have uh 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 Brandon Ingram, Zach Levine, this guy, that guy, come in here and save who?
Well, my
Do you
question,
see what I'm saying?
but my thing is, if you get, let's say we trade for a Jimmy Butler, are we not closer to a championship with that move than we are staying pat?
All
No,
right, so say you
that's the
trade for
funny thing.
Jimmy,
No,
right? Say you trade for Jimmy Butler. Does Draymond Green have the ball at the top still, or does Jimmy Butler
yes, he
have the ball
fucking
at the top?
does.
Yes.
That's the funny thing. He still does. And what? Is
Right.
Jimmy
So
this great?
so
Like,
it's like we're sitting here playing 2K, and it's like, so what? Jimmy Butler is going to run off of a pin down like he's Clay Thompson? Is that what we're gonna do? So I mean, what are we doing with Draymond Green? Because at one point I was watching us winning. Draymond Green was in the corner, and then all of a sudden I'm watching Draymond Green say, Oh, I'm in the corner. I'm like Shaquille O'Neal. You got to feed the big dog, right? And then all of a sudden, he is not in the corner. He's up top and he's playing traffic cop. And we don't have the personnel to play that. It's one thing if, next thing you know, they're trying Buddy and Steph, this lineup, that lineup. And all of a sudden, they're out of rhythm. They don't know what to do. People are confused. And you can see it, bro. Like you can see real time. Like people are like, all right, so we look like this great coach team in the first 15 games, and all of a sudden they look like a terrible team. So what is it? Who's the real team? Is it this team or is it the team that started the season off? Because it makes no sense. It is the truth somewhere in the middle.
No, you know what? I don't think it's a team. That's you see, that's the funny part. People were saying like, "Oh, the team just plateaued," and they're coming back down to reality. That's the funny part. If you look at what we were doing as an offense, I mean, we were a top 10 offense, but our numbers didn't look pretty, bro. We were not doing what the Cavs were doing
Mm.
or whoever's at the top. Like we were not putting up these insane offensive numbers. What was carrying us during that time was the defense. Then for some reason, for some godforsaken reason, the defense it fell off the face of the earth.
You
What
know
I've been
why the
seeing
defense
with a
fell off
lot
the
of
cliff,
these
though?
games,
You know why that actually happened?
why?
Hold
Because your
on.
offense sucks fucking shit. That is
Looking
gonna
at
affect your defense.
looking at Jumbotron, right? And no team has started a season 12-3 or better and proceeded to finish the same season at 500 or worse. The Warriors are about to fall from 12-3 to 500 through 30 games.
I don't
Bro,
see it, but bro, that's
yo,
insane.
Bro,
yo,
let me tell
like,
you
hold
let me
on.
tell you something.
When people want to fire Steve Kerr, it's shit like that, bro. So if something is working, why are we trying other shit? We're playing 13 people. We're playing Pat Spencer. We're starting Lindy Waters. And this man is up here telling you. So, bro, when I'm going to be honest with y'all, Steve Kerr scares me. Like that movie when they say I see dead people. Steve Kerr gives me
Sixth Sense.
6 cents, bro. I see dead people, bro. Steve Kerr fucking scares me like that, bro. The first time I watched that fucking movie, I got chills, bro. That's the type of spooky that fucking Steve Kerr gives me. That's the type, bro. He freaks me out, dog. He fucking freaks me out because I told y'all after that game, I'm like, bro, he's about to fuck this up. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, Steph has a little, injury, right? That he has to load manage, and they're load managing him, and they're managing the injury, and next thing you know, we're back to running the Draymond Green offense. Why are we running the Draymond Green offense? Sit his ass over the fucking corner, bro. Enough.
But that's the thing. Draymond Green is not even that good from the fucking corner. So what happens, right? And that's why I'm like, I don't think can the wings play together? Yes, JK and Kaminga can play it. I'm not JK and Wings can play together, but Draymond and Kaminga
Hear me
cannot
out, bro.
play
I
ball
I
together,
need
bro.
Steph. I need Steph. You see, like when he was in Orlando, bro, right? I need to call a seance or whatever, right? And I need Steph to muster up the anger that he felt in that moment when he was fucking crying on the court and just carry over that anger so we can get over this loyalty bullshit.
I mean, I need. I really, if
That is not gonna
to be
happen. I can
honest,
tell you that much. It's
my
out the
Christmas was
deal.
great, but like,
Hold
what
on,
would make it
Glorious.
better? My
Yeah,
bad. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So I need that type of anger to be mustered up. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, did you see that thing that came out today about that podcast? You see why I hate podcasts personally? That's why I hate podcasts. That's why I hate podcasts. That's why I hate podcasts, bro. Like, what are you doing, man? Tone deaf, dog. You think fans want to hear that bullshit? You think we want to hear that? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't want to hear that you should have done better, this, that, and the other. Bro, come on, man. You should have done better. What? What? You should have done better? You should have been a better vet. How is that going to affect the price of fucking rice, bro? Like, you done tricked off 2 seasons. By the way, I watched Nurkic slap the shit out of somebody tonight. I hope he gets mental help. You know what I'm saying? I hope he gets the help that he
I
needs.
agree.
Fucking bitch.
Fuck that pussy ass nigga,
Yeah,
man.
fuck him.
Doing the same shit.
Maybe Draymond actually had a point after about him.
Yeah.
Bro, that nigga pussy. Najee didn't expect it and he slapped it and then he was trying to back away. No, fuck that nigga, bro. Draymond had a reason for why he did what he did. Anyway, I'm still not condoning Draymond behavior. Anyway, um, there's our team is never gonna get better if Draymond and Curry are still here. I'm not gonna lie. It's crazy to think about. It's crazy to say, but if Draymond and if Draymond and Steve Kerr, mostly Steve Kerr, is still here, we are not gonna get better unless we get all this another top five guy like a Giannis or this or that. If Draymond and Steve Kerr are still here, we're not doing shit, bro.
But let me tell you
And
something,
that's
right?
just really unfortunate.
Like, Big Slime, I respect you. You're my guy. But let me tell you this, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to hold my breath on some big move. And here's why. Them motherfuckers made $73 million poof into thin air of contracts. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we could have looked into making the team better or doing something with the money or whatever, right? I literally watched $73 million poof into thin air, right? So what are we going to do now, right? We're going to trade away the fucking one defender. There are not that many good defenders on the team. I'm talking about great defenders. Wiggs is a good defender, right? Draymond, right?
hmm
And the two most tradable contracts is Draymond at 25, $24 million or something like that, and then Wiggs at 26. You know what my fear is, bro? That we say we trade for Butler, and then we are say we trade Wiggs, for instance. We trade Wiggs and we get Butler in there. I think everyone can agree that Wiggs, Jimmy is probably more of a playoff player than Wiggs is, correct? He took his team to the
Yeah.
finals, all that
100%.
shit, right? So,
Yes.
so say you trade Wiggs, but then you have Draymond Green on the team. Are we going to be at the same spot that we are right now?
Yes.
Brother, we are going to be worse.
Yes. We're probably
We
gonna
be
be
We are
we
going
be
to be worse.
better.
we'll be worse
No, we're not going to be
because
better.
Jimmy
Yeah, we be
doesn't know
better.
the system. Like what folks don't account for is the Kerr factor, bro. Dennis Schroeder don't look anything near like he did in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
That's
that's my concern.
like
That's
Because
he,
there's no proper personnel next to him, and the system doesn't
And
work.
let's be honest.
it doesn't matter if we
Actually, I'll
have
make it
proper
three.
personnel.
It's
It's
three
Kerr,
factors.
bro. It's Kerr. You think we're gonna get a whole team of the proper personnel within 50 games left this season? Is that realistic? What's the most realistic thing we could do right now to actually
I'm
revamp
not.
the
The
entire
most realistic
roster,
thing is
or
to
get rid
stand
of
pat and
Kerr
do
and run
absolutely nothing.
simpler
I'll tell you
actions to actually help the guys we have right now and maximize the guys we have right now? Which one
And
is
I'm,
more feasible?
and I'm going to be
I'm
quite
gonna tell
honest with
you.
you.
I'm gonna tell you right now,
Go
Alda,
ahead.
it's not gonna look pretty because I'm gonna tell you what's most likely gonna happen. If you ask me what the fate of the universe on the line, they're gonna stand pat and do absolutely
I
nothing.
know.
okay.
And you
So
know what's the
so
worst
Rose,
thing about this?
And
My
that's
bad.
real and serious
Rose,
too.
Rose. Let me say this, right?
Mm,
And that's kind of what I'm hinting at.
hmm
Look at the way those contracts just poofed into thin air, right? Zach Levine would help the team, right?
Yeah.
Where's he at?
He's a Bulls.
Why didn't they
He's still
trade for him?
coaching.
Because nobody wants the money that he commands.
Um,
So it's a money
I
thing.
think
So when we talk about
Because
Steph,
if everybody actually wanted him,
no.
he should have been gone by
It,
now.
okay,
it's for sure a money thing,
we
especially
have
with
a
Joe Laker.
we have a problem at two guard. We can all agree with that, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, so why didn't they get Zach Levine in here?
because Joe Laker was so persistent on staying under that first apron. He loved that shit.
Maybe
That's
Steve
what
Kerr
his
was the
biggest
problem in that.
offseason.
Yeah,
Maybe Steve Kerr was the
it
problem.
was Kerr.
Maybe Kerr was the problem.
I mean, that was his biggest thing. What did in all those like reports and little clips and shit? What was the most talked about thing? Staying under that first apron. That bro, that nigga have wet dreams about that shit.
You know
He
what I'm saying?
love that shit.
So I'm
But do
gonna
you
say this
want them
again,
to do that,
right?
or do you not want them to do that?
Maybe, just maybe, Steve Kerr was the problem. You know, maybe they just wanted to just save money. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe, just
Well, you
maybe.
have to think of it this way, Urkel. They missed the fucking playoffs and had the highest payroll in the league. Is that an acceptable standard in today's modern NBA? If just think about it. Don't even think it's the Warriors. Don't even think about that as the Warriors.
No,
If
it's
you
not.
miss the playoffs and you have the highest payroll in the league, is that considered an acceptable standard?
No.
So
What was the word
like
that
people would say, "Oh, we have to stay under the first apron." Like, how is that like? Oh my god, what are they doing? Result like you should have seen that coming a mile away. Then
I mean, all it looks like to me, what we're gonna do now is not be the highest payroll in the NBA and miss the playoffs. Because I'm being honest, bro, that Jimmy thing doesn't move me one fucking bit. Do you know why?
what did Kerr say when Zach Levine came up? He say what he gonna do? Come off the bench?
Nasty work, man. The
Yeah,
What?
Jimmy
so,
He
thing,
said that?
What's up, Jimmy?
yeah. He said, "Hey, what's up,
what?
Lee?" He said that.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he got
So you wanted to, you know what? Come on.
he gotta
Yo.
he gotta go.
Jim Park, my guy. What's
What
going
up,
on?
Jim?
What's up?
I have a question.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, room?
You guys
Go ahead,
keep
ask
on
your question.
blaming Steve Kerr. What of the players, though?
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Go
Oh,
ahead,
you're a
Jeff.
troll. Get off my stage.
Okay, so, okay. First of all, I mean, you're talking about didn't Steve Kerr want to bring Anthony Edwards off the bench because he wanted to start Austin Reeves or some shit like that
Yes,
in the FIBA competition?
yes.
Yeah, there
Yes.
you go. So
but
you're
what was
talking
the
about
reason
exactly.
behind
No.
that?
And he kept Jason Tatum on the bench.
Yeah. So that aside, guys, I just wanna give you guys a quick hitter. Obviously, tonight's game aside, because tonight we didn't expect the Warriors to win this game, even though they made a hell of a run, right? Jonathan Kuminga had a hell of a game, and the Warriors were full court pressing, and they were pushing the pace, and they were attacking Zubats. What do I always say when they play the Clippers? Attack Zubats, man. Attack Zubats. That guy is
Literally, dog.
slow-footed. Go at him, and they didn't do that until very late in the fourth. Throughout the fourth quarter, essentially, and then they made that run, but. They ran out of gas. I have no idea why Steve Kerr decided to bring Buddy Hield back into the game when he essentially was a major reason why the Warriors ended up, dying in the second half to begin with, right? And then Lindy Waters, he wasn't perfect. He made some errors, but his defense and him being out there was a huge part of the run that they made. And the next thing you know, he brings in Buddy Hield again. And Buddy Hield, I don't understand what his obsession was. Buddy Hield. I've seen Steve Kerr bring back Buddy Hield into games several times in crunch time, and Buddy Hield just does nothing. Like, if he's not scoring for you, he's useless. And he's such a one-way player. Like, they need to get him out of here, okay? But that aside, I just want to say one thing, man. You see the firing of Mike Brown, and Mike Brown does not deserve that. The Sacramento Kings have been a losing franchise before he came along. They lost for 16 straight years. They failed to make the playoffs, and all those 16 years, they failed to win, have a single winning record season. In those 16 years. Think about how insane that is. And then Mike Brown comes along, and immediately they're top 3 in the West. He's the coach of the year. And then even last season, maybe they had a down year compared to that, but they still had a winning season, right? And so he's completely turned their franchise around. And then they extend him for 3 years in the offseason. Next thing you know, before half the season is over, he's out. They can him. They fire him. And I really think that, De'Aaron Fox had something to do with that, which tells me a lot about De'Aaron Fox. Because, what was De'Aaron Fox before Mike Brown came along? Absolutely nothing. A losing player is what he was, right?
Yep.
But anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is this. Mike Brown was the ultimate architect, the true architect behind those 6 years when he was with the team and the Warriors were able to win 3 titles. It's because of Mike Brown, not because of Steve Kerr. Mike Brown was the true, the guy. He's the guy that truly deserved the credit over Steve Kerr. He's the one who went 12-0 in their first run when he became the assistant, and Steve Kerr was not available in that first playoff run with KD, and the Warriors went undefeated with Mike Brown as their coach, 12-0. Next thing you know, Steve Kerr comes back in the finals in Game 2, I believe, and then of course he ends up getting the credit for all of it. And by the way, the Warriors end up losing a game, of course, as Steve Kerr comes back, and they have a little blemish on their record. They win the whole thing, going 16-1 in those playoffs. Mike Brown got you 12 of those wins, right? And then in 22 even, right, against the Grizzlies. Mike Brown takes over once again for Steve Kerr. He has COVID, and he proceeds to go 2-1. So Mike Brown's record in the playoffs with the Warriors, whenever he's taken over for Steve Kerr, is 14-1. Thank you very much. Maybe this is divine timing. The Warriors have lost 12 of their last 15 games. This is the most unserious thing I've ever seen in my life. They are in the bottom of the ranks next to teams like the Raptors, the Jazz, the freaking Pelicans, the Hornets. They are amongst the bottom feeding teams. When you talk about you've lost 12 of their last 15 games, guys, it is time to let Steve Kerr go. Even Ricky G tweeted tonight, at this point, get Steve Kerr fired and out of here, because this is a mess right now tonight. Did you guys know that? Ricky G tweeted that Steve Kerr should be fired. Think about that for a second. It's truly over. I believe that this is divine timing. It is time to get Mike Brown back to this team and give him the reins to Steph Curry and this team. He deserves it over anybody else. The Warriors already have an elite group of coaching staff with Terry Stotts and Jerry Stackhouse. Imagine you add Mike Brown to this situation. Their situation completely and utterly changes. Dennis Schroeder looks like a brand new player. Steph Curry once again looks like the best player in the world, and this is what's going to happen. And then the front office can go, like you said, go make a trade for a shooting guard, and then it's wraps, guys. It is number 5 time and number 6 time over the next 2-3 seasons or so with Mike Brown at the helm. Thank you very much. Go get it done. Mike Dunleavy, Joe Lacob, Steph Curry, get together, have the hardest conversations of your life. Get it done. Let Steve Kerr walk, get Mike Brown in here, and go get those championships. Let's fucking go. That's all I got for you.
Jim, can I ask you a question before you go?
Go ahead.
Can we expect, and I'm just going to throw it out there, no pressure, but can we expect a collab from you and Ricky G at some point at the Warriors Oracle at Jim Park GM on YouTube at any point?
For what reason?
To kind of, so since it sounds like Ricky G is on your side,
I don't think he's on my side, but I was shocked to see that, though. I will say, completely, utterly shocking, right?
You know, he actually made a follow-up tweet to that, right? Where he was like, "Oh, I'm not actually meant for firing Steve Kerr." Like, you actually saw that, though, right, Jim?
No, I didn't see that, but okay, if he was unserious, then he was unserious. The bottom line is, I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody who's genuinely just trying to have a good conversation instead of with an alternative agenda, with a belief like, oh, you don't have the, you shouldn't talk about this team or the coach because you're not unqualified. And if you have that kind of energy behind the reason for why you want to talk to me, then what is the point of having a conversation with somebody who has that kind of energy towards me? If he's genuinely wanting to have a good basketball conversation and where we agree, disagree, that's okay, then sure, absolutely. But anybody who has ill intentions towards me or about me, I just don't see why I have to give any of those types of people my time of day.
All right, I tried. I don't think the collab is happening anytime soon.
No. Like I said, if he has good intentions, right? And he's not trying to do weird stuff to try to make me look bad or something, right? We're just trying to have a good basketball conversation about the Warriors. I'm totally willing to do that.
Okay.
What's going on, everybody?
But let's go, man. Push for the shit. Mike Brown, Warriors. This is divine timing. Let's go, man.
I mean, Jim, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like it's made to order. Like Mike Brown, now that he's been fired and relieved from the Kings job, I feel like he needs to be somewhere where he can rehab his image. And why not come back home to the Golden State Warriors?
That's what I'm saying. What do you think, Urkel?
I'm kind of over it. So my eyes are like red with anger after this run because what I just watched and the amount of experimenting I just watched and the amount of let's try this, let's try that. The snarkiest experimenting, the snarkiest I've ever seen somebody say experimentation was through Steph Curry. He said it's so snarky. And here we are. I can only imagine that they're in his office and they're just saying to him like, "What the fuck did you just do?" You know,
I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. Are you saying that Steph Curry, like, to me, because I don't know how you read it, but for me, when I heard him say that, to me, it looked to me like he was annoyed, like he couldn't believe that he had
that's
to
what
say
I'm
that they're
saying.
experimenting.
That's what I'm saying. He said it in he said it in the most snarkiest way possible.
Sarcastic. It was
Yeah,
like
bro.
sarcastic.
100%.
Yeah,
So this is where we're at right now. It's like, really? We're
exactly.
experimenting?
Yeah. So why would you not go for we got to find a solution, right? So why not push for the Mike Brown narrative?
Hey Jim, can I ask you this
I want
question?
to. I want to put out a question to you guys real quick before I get out of here.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's going on, Rose?
Can you guys name me one coach outside of this teams that will do this experimentation shit and be able to get away with it? Can you name one? Just one.
Nobody, brother. They're gone. When I tell you by that like 10th loss mark, their job was gone. They're not doing this shit. No coach in the NBA history could ever get away with starting 12-3 and then ending with 3-12, dog. That shit has never fucking happened before. And Steve Kerr has managed to do it, bro. Nobody should be able to keep their job after that shit. Please. He needs to be
That's
gone.
crazy because I was expecting somebody to be like, "Oh, what about Greg Popovich? What about Eric Spoelstra?" Like, I'm surprised none of you said any of those names. That is fascinating to hear.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this question. What is it going to take for Kerr to go this season realistically? What would it take?
Brother, if this doesn't make
If the
Kerr
Warriors
Lee,
are
Lee, let me tell
below
you something.
500 team, I'll tell you
No
that.
team has ever had the start that we've had and then blew what they just blew. It's never been done before.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been done before.
Shit
So
is diabolical, man.
understand that man experimented into a historical slide. This slide don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? And then when you watch what they did the last game, when you had Pods, Buddy, and Dennis out there, are you serious? Are you bro? Like maybe this gambling thing was a bad idea, bro. Because this man got to have some parlays. He bro,
Gamba.
And then I have to watch
Gambling.
Kyle Anderson get 3 DNPs in a row.
bro. Margot definitely has a like a 5 leg parlay, bro. Like we need to check in on this, bro, because this shit don't make no sense.
I'm trying to tell you, man, when somebody's been on a job for 10 years, that person is a maestro and an expert and he's a guru, right? And well, let's say for example, you're trying to hire somebody, whether it's a coach, whether it's some expert in something, right? And you're
Mhm.
like, who would you choose between a guy who's been on the job for 3 years or 10 years, right? You
Yeah,
choose the guy who's been on the job for 10 years because the guy is a complete and utter expert. There is no experimentation necessary. The guy knows everything inside out. That is why you want a guy that's been there for 10 years. And yet this guy's talking about experimenting like he's a first-year coach. So what does that tell you?
diabolical. Why are we experimenting for? For what?
I'm pretty sure, and what's the funny part is that the newer coaches that have been instilled, I would take Joe Mazzulla over that nigga for sure.
I've never watched somebody like, and the first time I remember experimenting, I watched it happen in 2015, and I was watching the press conference, and I was listening to Marcus, I was listening to TK, and I was hearing the word experiment, and I was like, oh, what the fuck are you going to experiment, bro?
The hell
Like
is Bill Nye the science
you
guy out there?
you run the Draymond Green offense, and then in the fourth quarter, give it to fucking light skinned Michael Jordan, bro. Like what? Like the hell are we doing, bro? That's basketball, and that will
The difference
always
is
be
Bill Nye the
basketball.
science guy when all he had to do was fucking play
Thank you.
basketball. Science is
You
not.
got-
Give it to
you
the
guys saw that
light-skinned
highlight,
champion
right?
of the world. Thank
You
you.
guys saw that highlight somebody posted of the history of Steve Kerr, on a final possession play where all he had to do was catch the damn ball that went right to him, and then he decides to tap it instead to the
Jim?
opposition. They hit a 3-point shot, and I believe that was like a game winner or something along
Oh,
those
it was a
lines,
game
right?
winner. It was a game winner.
Yeah,
Jim,
it's a
I'm a
game
old-
freaking winner. Steve Kerr, one trick pony as a basketball player. People love to talk about 5 championships as a basketball player. You telling me that Michael Jordan needed Steve Kerr to win those titles? You telling me Tim Duncan needed Steve Kerr to win those titles? He's literally a one trick pony. All he literally does is be wide open to take wide open 3-point shots. That was his role. He wasn't even a point guard. I think he averaged under 2 assists, and he played the point guard position. No wonder he uses everybody like their names are Steve Kerr, man. Come on. Come
He was
on.
a shooting guard.
Jim, I'm old
Even
enough.
worse.
I was old enough, bro. Me and you are around the same age. You know, I watched that game live. You know what I'm saying? And bro, like the amount of cursing that I was cursing Steve Kerr, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm actually old enough to remember that game. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have to share my parents' 401k. I'm actually that old. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, I'm only saying that because Steve Kerr is just unbearable. But I never had any problems with Steve Kerr as a basketball player. Obviously, he did his job really well. The one trick pony
yeah.
thing that he did it amazingly. So I had no problems with him. And then I saw him become a general manager of the Suns and instantly ruin that franchise for the next decade with a year and a half's worth of bad moves.
When he
Right?
got
That's
Shaq?
all it took to completely destroy a Steve Nash dynasty.
When he
Okay.
got Shaq, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, Mike Brown was the architect of it all, not Steve Kerr. Okay. Steve Kerr, honestly, I questioned him ever since he made those moves where Ezeli's in the game with like 3.5 minutes left to go in a game 7 situation, shaking in his boots. Okay, shaking in his boots. The moment the game started, the guy didn't want to be in there. It was just the moment was too big for him. You have to identify those things. How come I can identify it? How come the fans can identify it? But Steve Kerr is playing easily down to the wire and letting him get cooked by LeBron James in the 4th quarter when the Warriors had momentum. And that's when I saw those things, and him playing like a 10-man,
Anderson
11-man
fucking
rotation in a
Varejao,
game
Jim.
7 is when I was like, maybe Steve Kerr would have been fired by now if he went and took that Knicks job. That's when I first started to really question Steve Kerr, man. Luckily he went and got Mike Brown, and the rest is history. Now it's time to go get Mike Brown again and get this guy out of here.
Hey, Jim, did Alvin Gentry leave after the 2015 championship?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Mike Brown
Gentry went to
came
the
in
Pelicans.
16.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Brown came in 16, 17.
Mhm.
Oh, and don't forget, I don't know how many times I have to say this. 14-15 season, okay, they won the title. All right, 15-16 season comes. Luke Walton has to take over because Steve Kerr is once again, he has spine issues, the back injury complications. Luke
Back
Walton
surgery.
proceeds to go 39-4, the greatest NBA start in history. Steph Curry looks like Michael Jordan under Luke Walton, literally. Steph Curry did not look like Michael Jordan under Steve Kerr the first year because Steve Kerr is shaking his head and putting his hands over his head because he's unhappy that his superstar took a superstar shot. The guy was a tyrant from the get-go. As soon as he got out of the way, Steph Curry felt more freedom, started launching 30-footers, and that's when he started to change the game, man. That's when things changed, and that's when Steph Curry really became Steph Curry. With Steve Kerr out of the way. Thank you very much. Get him out of here.
Yo, Ricky on the TL was asking if Dennis is better than Paz right now. That's what Kerr has done to Schroeder, bro.
Well, like I said, it's like a combination of things. Like it's like yes, Kerr is one of the factors, but like Dennis needs proper personnel around him in order to maximize his results, and they just don't have that. Now that could also be attributed to whatever Kerr's decisions with his lineups are. That's part of it, but it's also just
That's everything. That's everything. You telling me the Warriors have worse personnel than the Nets? This is what you're trying to tell me? Because they found a way to work things around him when he was with the Nets. But they can't do that with the Warriors, really? This is a poor excuse. Leave it to Steve Kerr to ruin the value of any and every single player.
I mean,
Come on, man. How much more evidence do you need to see?
Kyle Anderson
Um,
getting 3 DMPs in a row is fucking
hold on,
crazy, dog.
Sonny, Sonny. We had a conversation in here the other day after the Oklahoma City game, and you were very high on Dennis Schroeder.
Is
And
Sonny in here?
no, he's not, but he'll probably hear it at some point. But this is what I was talking about. It's not anything against Dennis's skill set, but I just understand what happens when players land on this team. And if they don't fit a certain mold, they're going to struggle, right? Maybe Dennis, he's a really talented player. Maybe he can figure some things out. I'm still going to give him time, but like, he's not comfortable doing these things, right? Not on this team.
But
This team doesn't,
Let me
yeah.
ask you this.
The more I think about it, I just think this
hold on,
move
Rose.
is just to replace Melton. That was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything more than that. If it was anything more than that, they would have gotten honestly a better player. But
Hey, Erk,
they did what they had to do.
Yeah.
let me ask you this question. Anybody that comes here like who doesn't get the system in the beginning, do they eventually get it for the most part?
They do eventually. So that's why, like,
But like how many years does it take?
bro, it took
And by how
Wiggs.
many L's do you have to take to
Yes.
get it?
It takes
So let
about
me
a
give
year
you an
to 2
example,
years.
Cost
right?
in order to finally understand
This is why I don't like
the
making
Steve
trades,
Kerr
right?
system. Lol.
No. This is why I don't liking making these sweeping trades because like I just understand what happens with the system and Kerr and all of this stuff, right? So if you're gonna tell me that we're gonna go to a traditional NBA offense, right, and run the same shit that everyone else is running, sure, that's fine. Bring every dribble pass shoot, bring every ball pounder that you can. But I just understand what's going to happen, bro. I am terrified to make trades. And the Dennis thing, again, I'm going to give him time. He's a really good player. He can guard. He can put the ball on the floor. He does some nice things. But this is why when I'm watching players like him, I struggle. I struggle because I'm like, I just know what's going to happen. I know the type of things that they're going to ask him to do. It's read and react and bro, like, remember that movie back in the 90s? It was called Blue Chips or something like that,
Yes.
right? And it's so funny, like when you go back and you watch it, Butch wanted the ball in his hands and he wanted to run pick and roll,
Mm-hmm.
and Nick Nolte wanted to run fucking motion offense. And Butch, bro, it's the same shit, bro. Nick Nolte is
Wasn't
Steve Kerr.
wasn't Shaq and Penny Hardaway in that movie?
Yes,
They
bro.
were young Shaq and Penny.
So Penny wanted the ball to create and doing all of this stuff, and Nick Nolte, which is a Steve Kerr version, that man wanted to run motion offense. You know what I'm saying? Go back and watch that movie. It's actually a good movie. Dudes were point shaving and all of that stuff. It's a good movie. But anytime I hear somebody talk about pick and roll, they talk about motion offense, bro. They're two different worlds. You know what I'm saying? They're two different worlds, literally two different worlds. So, um, that's what I worry about. It's not that I don't think Dennis is a good player or anything like that. It's just that I just know what type of offense they're going to run. I just know the challenges, bro. Wiggs didn't get this shit for like 2 years, bro. Literally 2 years. He got here that first year, and then in 2021, he struggled the entire year getting the offense, and then in the third year, he actually got the offense, and they were running sets and all of that stuff. Bro, sometimes it just takes people a while, and you know, Kerr just does this thing eventually where he's like, "Oh, so you get the offense now? So you get the simple offense? All right, you come here, my guy. Come here. I am going to run you into my offense. I'm going to make you such a better basketball player, and I'm going to run these motion things." Bro, Steph Curry, yeah, bro, I don't think people understand how great Steph Curry is. How great he is. And the offense is not for Steph Curry. The offense is not for Moses Moody. It's not for Andrew Wiggins. It's not for Jonathan Kaminga. The offense is for Draymond Green. Understand that. The offense is for Draymond Green. That's who the offense is for. It's not the Steph Curry offense. It's the Draymond Green offense. because the challenge with Draymond Green, and it's a unique thing that Draymond and Steph have done. I mean, think about Bird and Mikhail, Magic and Kareem, Jordan Pippen, right? Shaq Kobe, Bron D Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Ray Allen, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Shaq. Think about all of those guys that LeBron had, right? And just think about like the 1-2 punch, 1-2 punch, 1-2 punch. The shit that Steph did is super unique. So when you put Kevin Durant in there, of course you are going to have that dynamic, right? Of course you're going to have that, right? So I just named probably 30 years of tandems, right? That existed, Stockton Malone, all of these tandems that existed. And a tandem here is Draymond Steph. And Draymond is like Anthony Mason mixed with Jason Kidd. That's who Draymond Green is. He's like Anthony Mason mixed with Jason Kidd, mixed with Scottie Pippen. That's who Draymond Green is. And that's unique. You know what I'm saying? But when you bro, I still don't know how Steph Curry won the championship with that front court. It is a fucking miracle, bro. Go back and look at the front court that they won that championship with. I still don't know how he does it, but that's the beauty of Steph, right? Like no other player in the history of the league. I say it all the time. That's the greatest carry job I've ever seen in my life. You cannot name a better carry job to a championship. A championship. Not the 2015 nonsense that LeBron did. You cannot name a better carry job. What Steph did in 22 was the equivalent of what Allen Iverson did winning the title. That's what Steph Curry did in 15. It's almost like Allen Iverson beating who he beat and winning the That's what Steph did. It's the greatest carry job of all time. But people won't look at it like that. They just won't. Greatest carry job ever. Because look at that front court, man. It's disgusting.
Even our own,
It's nasty.
even members in our own fan base will never get it. Unfortunately,
They're not smart, man. There's a lot of idiots in the fan base. You know, there's a lot of idiots in the fan base. So I don't expect them to understand. I don't expect them to get it. Um, go play with the trade machine, please. You don't get it. You just don't get it. We just need to put something viable in the front court, half decent. That's why I was excited about that Laurie shit. You know what I'm saying? They needed some front court relief, and here we are. But the season turned. I'm gonna be honest with you. The season
San
turned.
Antonio.
San Antonio when we were running the Draymond Green offense. That's pretty much what happened. And they've been searching and searching since, because that's ultimately what he wants to run. He wants a team to be dynamic, and he wants all of these things. Coach D, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Space Gang? Just
What
wanted to
up?
come in and just talk about the game a little bit. Hey, I want to give y'all some credit, bro. Y'all boys was out there fighting tonight, bro. They did not give up. They did not roll over. Third quarter, we came out and we was serious for the first time in the game, and they didn't give up, bro. And they just, obviously without Steph and Draymond, the chances y'all was gonna win on the road like against us probably wasn't good. But y'all gave it a good fight, bro, for real. So
Yeah,
salute to y'all, man. And I know y'all be doing, I be seeing you on here. Y'all go every game like we do. So salute to you two, Space Gang. And yeah, man, just want to tell y'all salute, bro. Y'all gave a good effort tonight.
appreciate it, man. We don't miss games, bro. We grind. You know what I'm saying? Even
Yeah,
even when I'm on an island with sand in my toes, the spaces is going. You know what I'm saying? So we
that's
don't
what's up.
miss.
I respect that. Did y'all is there any issue y'all had with the game? I feel like y'all gave y'all best shot. I don't know.
Yeah, like in prior years, I've watched this team, just young guys especially, just throw their hands up and just give up. So let me see. Sometimes when guys just show a little fight, then they find something. I mean, basketball is a sport. I mean, any sport rather, any sport that you play, and even if you're running straight line 100 meters, there's a certain level of confidence and moxie that's going to take. And maybe this gave them a little bit of confidence tonight. So, let me see if that will translate into tomorrow and the next game and the next game, right? Because I don't think we're done. I've seen worse. I've seen them climb out of worse. 21, we were like 5 games under. I think this team is better than that. 2024 last season, they were 4 games under. I've seen worse. So it's just unfortunate that we had such a lead. And, like, let me tell you something, man. I'm kind of like, I'm kind of superstitious in a way. And never disrespect the basketball gods, bro. And I feel like Steve Kerr disrespected the basketball gods, and he
What do you do?
disrespected. He started to experiment midway through, and
Oh,
yeah, he was experimenting with lineups. He was experimenting with style of play.
mm.
He was experimenting with defensive concepts, and we were just pointing these things out. Next thing you know, this guy's out, that guy's out. One loss cascades into another loss, that cascades into another loss. Next thing you know, he cuts the lineup. He's next thing you know, he's playing three. He's searching,
And
and he
and the
has
crazy
nothing.
thing, bro, everybody was telling him like you cannot be running like what was he running like 13 man rotations or something like
Come
that. They
on,
was
Like seriously, Coach D, like
they
name
was
another
everybody
head coach
right.
in the league that can get away with that and
Ev-
still be successful. You can't.
right. Everybody was telling them that, and the issue is that once people start going down, now you have a team like where's your identity? The people you need to depend on, they don't know who's who, like who needs to do what because everybody got these weird little short
yeah.
roles.
If Darvin Ham did that, every Braun related media person would be at that man's house
They
with
would be
pitchforks.
asking for an axe to his
Yeah,
head.
bro. Like you know the Hulk Hogan meme, right? Like you know the Hulk Hogan meme,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what would be happening at Darvin's gate if he was doing what Steve Kerr was doing, bro. That's literally what would happen. You know what I'm saying? If Darvin just did what Steve Kerr did, bro, Hulk Hogan meme, dog.
Nah,
Hulk Hogan
for
meme.
real, for real.
Oh my god.
Bro, I'm dead serious. You know what I'm saying? So he gets rope because he had 4 rings. He recently won one like 2 years ago. So
Mhm.
there's a certain level of rope that he has. But bro, what he did was Coach D. It's like, what level do you coach at?
Uh, Middle school.
Middle school. Okay.
Yeah.
How many players are on your team? Do you play everyone?
Hell no. I mean, you got to make sure. When we with the kids with the school, you
Yeah.
gotta you gotta get people in the game. Either at the end of the game over, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. Go in the game.
I'm talking about like regular rotations. Like, how many people do you
Yeah.
run?
Hell no. We run like 9.
Bro, this
Nine,
man,
yeah, that's a typical NBA rotation. Nine
this man
guys.
is running. This man started off the season running 12 and 13, bro. Literally.
Nah, brother. That's
You know what I'm
that's just
saying?
insane. And I remember everybody like that was anybody that was saying like as any type of experience like you can't do that. It's never been done. It's not a good idea. He was doing it anyway. But I wanted to ask y'all, bro,
Yeah.
what happened to Buddy Hield? I don't understand how he was on this splash
we don't
buddies run.
we don't
He looked like the next Clay, and then
we
now
don't
I watched him tonight, bro. Did he play?
Coach D.
I don't
We don't
understand that, dog.
we don't run any actions for him really.
Oh, is
Not
that
anymore.
what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
And you're and
Why
you're
would you
literally
why
just
would you stop
asking
doing
Buddy like,
that?
"Oh, please hit a
So Coach
shot." You
D,
know what?
Coach D, they don't run sets for him. They switched up everything that they were doing when they started off the season. But and there are points when he's out there and the effort, like the defensive effort, is not there. And as soon as he makes a mistake defensively, he's gone. He's yanked,
Oh,
right?
that's crazy.
So that's the type of stuff that happens. And then I think he's trying, bro. Like, he's just a limited defender, and that's pretty much all it is. But bro, he's a shooter. It happens literally with every shooter ever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially ones who are not like these two-way shooters. So I knew what I was getting with $8 million, right? But they like at some point he's gonna hit shots, right? At some point he's gonna hit shots.
Mhm.
It's not singularly on him. You know, he was like 22 minutes tonight, you know, but the heater that he was on, it was historic.
Nah, for real
Right,
though.
like his scoring rate, I knew it wasn't sustainable, right?
Okay.
But it's like I expected him to go up and down and up and down and up and down. That's what shooters do, bro. Like Clay
Right.
Thompson, there were a time when Clay was in here and Clay started seasons off and he would go through these crazy slumps. But the difference between Clay and Buddy, especially prime Clay, pre-injury Clay,
Mm-hmm.
he was out there and he was guarding, right? That's not Buddy Healed, right? So Clay at this point, Clay's not really guarding to that level anymore, right? So there's like these things that happen with these players, and you know, it is what it is, bro. He'll always be a limited player. That's who he is.
But you
Like,
think Steve Kerr, like he be having favoritism on the team? Because I think he loved Pods, bro. I think he loved him to death, like a son.
so you're an outsider. Like, have you ever seen that Pods handshake before with Steve Kerr when he got drafted? I play it
What?
all the time.
No, I never see what. They have a handshake?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a
Yeah, it's
special.
basically on draft night when they drafted him, and then like they met each other. They just did like this really. I'll just say it was a weird handshake. I'll say that much.
You ever seen like a drawbridge before, like in like Indiana Jones or something, and the drawbridge is like rocking from side to side, rocking from side to side, rocking from side to side.
Yeah.
And it's not like the vertical handshake. It's like rocking from side to side, like you're holding a
What?
hands with a ting. Yeah, yeah. That's the kind of handshake. Once I
Right.
seen that, bro, I knew exactly what we're doing. Yeah, it's yeah.
Well, so Warrior
It's that
fans,
kind of
so do
handshake.
y'all like Pods or no?
I am not a fan.
Damn.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a fan.
He can go. Honestly, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not a
Definitely,
fan.
he can go.
Gotcha.
I'm not a fan because like when
I literally Oracle. I literally like tweeted something like this. I was like, I'm noticing so many non-Warrior fans are sick and tired of this dude. That already raised the alarm for me.
Yeah.
Right there. When non-Warriors fans were sick and tired of that motherfucker,
yeah,
that's when I was like, yeah.
this is how I evaluate him, right? Like,
Eric, another point to Rose's point before you continue
yeah,
in regards to Kerr. And let me ask you this, Coach D.
Yeah.
What did you think of Kerr's rotations, his choices in the summer when he was coaching Team USA and even when he coached FIBA? What did you think of some of the things he was doing?
He was definitely doing some interesting things, and obviously, like the hot topic was Tatum and different type of stuff like that. But yeah, Steve, I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like he gets the green light to do stuff, and I think he just does it. Like, he feel like he could do whatever he want, type of thing. Like,
Yeah, because he's
that's how
got
I feel
4
like
rings.
it is.
That's literally the only reason why. Look, I got my 4-ring card. Nobody else has that 4-ring card. You can tell me shit.
Can't tell him nothing. Can't tell him nothing, bro.
I've never seen somebody do the things that he does. I've never seen it from any coach. You know what I'm saying? And you see when he started to tell us that the team was loaded, one of the most talented teams, and all of that stuff. Bro, I knew what he was doing, dog.
That was OD, bro. I was telling the Clippers, like I do the Clippers spaces. We did the halftime space, and I was telling them I brought that up because I'm like, bro, Sean Livingston would be the best player on the Warriors team on the floor right now. If Sean Livingston back then, bro, if he was on that Warriors team right now on the floor with no Steph, no Draymond, like he would be putting the Clippers like to work. Like that's how good how deep those Warriors teams were back in the day, bro. Like y'all were stupid deep. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so
But that's the thing. Steve is trying to find another Livingston, and it's just not there.
It's like instead of coaching the guys that he has, it's almost like you go to the club, right? Like you lose a girlfriend, she breaks up with you, right?
Yeah.
And you say he's like Kanye West basically, right?
That's
You know how much Kanye West's current girl resembles his ex-wife?
yeah.
That's what Steve Kerr is trying to do, bro.
Oh, okay. But see,
You
at
understand
that
what I'm
point,
saying?
why wouldn't you like Buddy then? That's the thing, because he don't play defense. Like,
Buddy's not a defender like that, but that's
okay.
fine. You know what I'm saying? Like earlier in the year, and that's another thing too. Like